and welcome to My Tiny Bottles, the project where I'm exploring my grandmother's legacy of miniature liquor bottles, one tiny bottle at a time. I'm your host, Tammy Coxon, and today you get 2 bottles for the price of 1. Both of these come from Reveal Video 4, but they were wrapped up separately, and until I took a closer look, I had no idea they'd come from the same place. Bottle number 22 is the Still Master's Reserve Kirschwasser from Rieder Distillery. Kirschwasser is an eau-de-vies or unaged brandy made from cherries. Bottle number 23 is Bolivar Coffee and Brandy Liqueur, also from Rieder, and described on the bottle as a fine liqueur made from choice South American coffees prepared in the traditional way and specially blended with brandy. Since I could find out a lot more about Rieder Distillery than about either of the liquids in these tiny bottles, I decided to pair them up. Rieder Distillery was established in Grimbsy, Ontario, Canada in 1972 by Otto Rieder. Grimbsy is a small town on the shore of Lake Ontario between Hamilton and St. Catharines. It's smack in the middle of the Niagara region, which is one of Canada's most productive fruit growing areas. Otto was a Swiss immigrant who immediately saw the potential of all this fruit and set up a distillery to make fruit brandies in the Swiss style. Apparently, he was really good at it, and his eau-de-vies were excellent. The trouble was that nobody in Ontario in the 1970s particularly cared. But Otto adapted and started making aged brandies as well as more popular spirits and liqueurs. This included the Bolivar coffee liqueur, but also Prince Igor vodka, which in the 1980s was promoted with the tagline, "Prince Igor has no taste." Some sources say the business was a little more than a hobby, and by 1992, Otto was ready to retire. His financial backers sought out a replacement and found John Hall, a Canadian winemaker who came on as CEO. Hall brought new energy and enthusiasm and recognized the potential in the distillery. He applied for and received a winery license, and in 1993 changed the name from Rieder Distilling to Kittling Ridge Estate Wine and Spirits. Now, along with the buildings and the inventory, Hall had inherited the staff, which included a blender named Bill Ashburn, who had joined the company in 1987. Apparently, Hall was thinking bigger than wine pretty much from the start, because shortly after the acquisition, he asked Ashburn, "Can we make whiskey and wine, but sell the wine until the whiskey is good enough that people will buy it?" Turns out, the answer was yes. In 2000, Kittling Ridge released 40 Creek Canadian whiskey to popular acclaim, both north and south of the border. It was so popular that in 2012, they rechristened the distillery again to 40 Creek Distillery, and they still operate as that today. One thing that hasn't changed in all that time is the guy making the whiskey. That's still Bill Ashburn, who's been working at the distillery for 36 years and has spent most of that time as their master distiller. Bill might have had a hand in the distillation of My Tiny Bottles. It's hard to put a date on either of them besides before 1992, when the first name change happened. The company still makes Bolivar today, and my mini of it is in a plastic bottle, which implies 1980s. The distillery in Grimbsy is still open and available for tours, so hopefully I'll be able to pay them a visit and maybe ask Bill Ashburn himself. In the meantime, if you know anything about either of these bottles, drop a comment. You can find more pictures and information at mytinybottles.com. Don't forget to subscribe and follow My Tiny Bottles on all your social media so you never miss a bottle. Cheers!